Good morning. Today's the last day of 2016 and I'm gonna make a video of Fruitopia to show you guys how beautiful summer is in Melbourne. Here I've got the bougainvilleas in bloom and a banana that's been growing in a pot there for the last 2 years just fine. And there's the avocado tree, 2 of them actually, one next to the other. And here we have a bird of paradise, a giant one in a pot. These are heirloom tomatoes, or tomatoes, which I grow every summer, all the way around. And this is the banana circle with a few bunches that are almost ready. There's another bunch of bananas which is coming along in the banana circle. We got 80 millimeters of rain a couple of days ago. That's 4 inches in the Imperial, and the tropical magnolia here starting to flower overnight. The most beautiful sweet perfume. And here are some of the fruit trees. We've got one fig here, massive fig, and another one down there. These 2 come in March and they're absolutely loaded every year. That's looking back from the fig trees towards the banana circle. And the tomatoes in the pots. Here's a pineapple guava or feijoa, one of 5. This is the oldest one, and these come in May, June, the beginning of winter, end of autumn. Just finished flowering, and they're pretty good for a time when there's not much fruit. This is a lemon verbena tree, and it's also finished flowering. Beautiful flowers a few weeks ago, and we use it for tea. We use the leaves for tea, and yeah, this one has been in the ground now for about 5 or 6 years. It's grown into a large bushy tree. Here I have a new area where I'm gonna have a lot of bananas growing. A new banana patch, if you like. Already started with one in the ground, and these pots here will be the newcomers. This is a ruby red grapefruit tree. It's only 3 years old, but already producing some amazing fruit. This is its first year to fruit. There's about a dozen fruit there. It's only waist high. Such a small tree, and already doing great. It's a passion fruit vine, which I planted only last summer, only a year ago, and it's absolutely full of at this stage flowers. And if I go around to the other side, it's got some fruit coming, still at the early stage. There you go, there's one. Yeah. And the beautiful flowers. These are dragon fruit plants, which have been in the ground for 3 years now. They seem to be coming along really well. Just waiting for those elusive flowers. And also the fruit, of course. That's a custard apple tree, one of 3. This is the oldest one, being around 6 years old now. It's always covered in its very strange looking flowers. It's only given one fruit once. Still waiting for this one to mature as a tree. They're doing well in Melbourne. And next to it I have an ice cream bean tree, which is doing great too. That's only 4 years old and already has its first buds for the first time. And we'll see the first flowers on the ice cream bean tree. This here is a pomelo, one of 3 pomelo trees I have. This is the oldest one, and every year it gives me at least half a dozen to a dozen pomelos. It's doing very well in Melbourne. Pomelos and any citrus does really well here. These are usually ready in winter. Already doing great. This one's got about 20 fruit on it so far. Pomelo, the largest of all citrus. This one's a real exotic one. I wonder if any of you can guess what it is. Subtropical, very popular in New Zealand. It's called a tomato tree, or Tamarillo, and it's got some flowers there already. Hopefully we'll get some fruit. This one here is a Hawaiian guava, pink flesh, and it's only in its 2nd year in the ground. I've had it for 5 years altogether, including in a pot, and it's doing really well. Next to it is another pomelo in a pot, and as you guys can see, they do great even in pots. The pomelos coming along nicely. This is a jabuticaba, or a Brazilian grape tree. Not grapefruit, but grape tree. Very rare and very exotic from South America. And apparently these take up to 12 years to fruit. Well, guess what? This one is at year 6, which means it's just past the halfway mark, and hopefully it'll fruit a lot sooner than 12 years. Jabuticaba. Here we have the carambola fruit, or star fruit, which I planted out last year. This is a young one, different varieties of star fruit. And here's another variety called Thai Night. And that one I've had for 5 years. They're pretty slow growing, guys, but getting there. This is one of the original trees I planted 15 years ago when I moved here. This is a peach tree called the Daisy, and every year, of course, it doesn't fail to produce copious amounts of gorgeous, juicy, white-fleshed peach. And this one here, guys, is one of our all favorites. It's called the jujube tree, or Chinese date. I've only had this for 3 years, and yet, look at it. It's huge and absolutely covered in flowers and fruit. Jujube. This is the Wirtz variety avocado, one of the dwarf kinds. I've had this one for 10 years now, and it's a slow growing avocado tree, but does quite well in Melbourne. I've got 2 of them. So yes, you can grow avocados in Melbourne, guys. Look at it, it's huge. This is a persimmon tree, a dwarf variety also, but extra large size fruit. Tree only grows to around 2.5 meters. And this one is coming up to 5 years old now, and it's always doing well. Yeah, this is the gyro variety persimmon. This is the main variety of persimmon, known as fuyu. A smaller size fruit than the gyro, but a full-size tree. And I've had this one for about 7 years. This is the latest avocado I got to add to the Wirtz, which I've had for 10 years. This is already 3 years old, a little bit more mature, and it's the Hass variety avocado. So this one will be going in the ground sometime next year. I'm doing an experiment with sugarcane for the first time. Sugarcane growing in Melbourne in pots. See how we do with this. More for the novelty. Here's a babaco, or a mountain papaya, pawpaw, from South America. This one does great in the colder parts of Australia. Babaco. There's another babaco that I have, basically 2 of them in the ground. They're a beautiful looking subtropical substitute for papaya, and they fruit very well. They love cold, temperate climates like Melbourne. Babaco. Here we are at the front of the house, the driveway, which is transforming into a tropical paradise, you could say. Yep, even in the colder parts of Melbourne, you can have a slice of the tropics, from lilies to mango. Yeah, it's a mango tree. It's coming up. I've had this for a couple of years. Slow, but they do grow. Just waiting for it to get settled in and maybe fruit. So here we have some more pineapple guava, bananas. How many bananas would you like? Yep. And Suriname cherry, doing good. Hasn't fruited yet, but we're waiting. This is a key lime or West Indian lime tree. Another pineapple guava. Another banana, which is just opening up a new blossom. That opened a couple of days ago. So more bananas coming. Some more lilies. A mandarin tree, a young one. Another pineapple guava. Another banana. Yellow cherry guava. Yeah. And another banana. Yeah. The Melbourne tropics. That's a young pomegranate tree, which is slow growing, but doing well. It might even give us some fruit. There's some flowers, and beside it, an older pomegranate, which is a little bigger. It's only fruited once. Very slow, these guys, but they're beautiful looking trees too. Pomegranate. That's the stunning jacaranda, also subtropical. I planted this back in 2001, and every year I have to prune it so it doesn't grow out of hand. And it's got beautiful flowers on the ground at the moment. Nice colorful carpet of purple from the jacaranda. Now these are the latest trees I planted in the last 12 months in the front yard. Yeah, I converted the front to a fruit oasis. Took out all the pine trees and ash trees and nonsense like that, and I began with some peaches and plums and these. This is pretty much unknown in Australia, or at least in Melbourne. These are white sapotes, which I haven't tried yet, and this is the 5th year for these white sapotes. I had them in pots for 4 years, and last year they went in the ground. As soon as they went in the ground, bang, they started to fruit. And it's been a long wait, but it's been worth it, it seems. Just covered in fruit. So we're waiting to see what these odd looking fruit taste like. 7 different varieties planted. Here's another one. I'm not going to bother with the variety names. At this stage we just want to try out the taste and see what they're like before we bother with technicalities. Yeah, so hopefully these will be ready sometime in autumn. That means sometime in the next 3 months. Here's another variety of the white sapoti, which is also just throwing out all those fruits. It's amazing. Just clusters of them. So this is all new to me, and I'm sure to many of you also. White sapoti doing incredibly well in cool, temperate Melbourne. This video wouldn't be complete without this tree, one of my all favorites. It's called the white chatut mulberry. It's been fruiting now for over 2 months and it still has a while to go. Absolutely covered in fruit and one of the easiest trees to grow in Melbourne. Look at the size of it, only after 3 years in the ground. I'm gonna finish off with this novelty. It's called Wampi or Wampi fruit. It's part of the citrus family, and it produces semi-sweet, tart like fruit in autumn. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you again next time.